This Manston 120 Hyberlift crane just finished offloading 1,800 tons of barite from a barge on the Ohio River.
And barite weighs 190 pounds a cubic foot, so it's a pretty dense material.
The crane can be found on the dock of Pier 48 stevedoring in the Wellsville Intermodal Facility. President Larry Heck says the crane is capable of moving 800 tons of material per hour.
That's the rate that it needs to run in order to get a productive day.
Pier 48 is the first stop on a tour of businesses in Columbiana County that sit on the banks of the Ohio River. Taking the tour are members of the Ohio Mid-Eastern Governments Association, or OMEGA, and members of the Columbiana County Port Authority, including Executive Director Penny Trena.
I'm new on the position 2 years in, and obviously the Wellsville Intermodal Facility plays an integral part on the Ohio River with all the businesses here.
In addition to barite, Pier 48 unloads shipments of soybeans in steel coils.
The conveyor that you see up there, it's a 48-inch wide belt which will carry the 800 ton an hour for delivery.
Some of the barite offloaded by Pier 48 then gets transported right next door to Simbar Performance Materials, the next stop on the tour.
We do talc, calcium carbonate, brown barite, and magnesium hydroxide. That's the minerals we process here. Different grades depending on different customers.
Mike Maley is production manager. He says most of the materials the company processes are used in the drilling industry.
It comes in, Pier 48 unloads it, we put it out back, we load it into the hopper. It comes through one of the systems, depending on which product we're trying to make. We mill it, it goes to the finished product silo. We package it or ship it in bulk. The samples come up here. We test it to make sure it's in specification. Then the product goes to the customer.
One of those customers is Anchor Drilling Fluids next door. Being in such close proximity to their supplier, it makes it easier to get the materials they need.
Any other place has to have these trucks back down in there and fill those 2 white tanks. Here, all we do is we pick up the phone, we call Simbar and say fill tank 1 or 2, and we turn our compressor on and they're filled.
The company makes drilling fluid used in shale drilling operations. Plant manager Harold Willett says the fluid they make has several uses, including lubrication for drill bits and helping to bring shale cuttings to the surface.
They rent it from us. Once they're done drilling on that location, we'll get the mud back, and then we have a little lab out here. We test the properties of it, and then we add whatever it needs, and then we send it back out.
Other businesses along the tour include Quality Liquid Feeds, Marathon Petroleum Corp., and Wellsville Terminals Company.
We make liquid horse and cattle feed here. We deliver directly to the farm or the feed mill. We get all of our molasses from down in Louisiana, which we barge up. We also have rail cars here.
We're kind of the opposite of the Water River terminals. This is our Utica Shell tankage here. And what they do is they truck that in straight from the wellheads. We store it and we load it out on barges. All of it goes to our Catlettsburg, Kentucky refinery.
We've got material coming in from all over the world and all over the country, and we're servicing industry in Ohio. And we're making them more competitive because we're allowing them to get their raw materials or their steel coils that they're using to slit and make into other things at a cheaper price.
Many businesses on the tour say they've seen growth in the past couple of years.
Since 2012, when we opened, this is the busiest we've ever been. We've got 22 rigs running right now.
It's actually going into our 7th year of business. We have grown quite considerably over the last 6 years.
One of the challenges they face is infrastructure.
I'm sure when you drove in here, you saw a lot of potholes and things like that.
The Port Authority, along with Omega, are looking for funding sources like federal and state grants to bring infrastructure improvements to the businesses along the river.
Big takeaway is how important the Ohio River is, especially for the industries right here. It was amazing to me to tour all the different industries to see what they bring to the area, more importantly the southern end of the county. And as we look at the shale play upriver and downriver, we potentially could lock into some of those ancillary cargo that'll be coming up and down the river, and this will play an intricate part in our future, especially here in Columbiana County.